Welcome again. Okay, pumpkin powders, oat proteins, you name it. There are more than 30 varieties of protein on shelf today, with the promise to deliver better health and well-being. And how true is this? How to differentiate between what is trendy and what is the truth? Okay, stay tuned to find out more. Over to you, Claudia.
All right, thank you everyone. Thank you all for attending today's SMIB training. Okay, so today we will be tackling a very exciting topic, whether proteins are trend or truth. Well, I'm sure everyone on this call today definitely would have this thought that crossed over your mind at least once or twice. Or maybe someone asked you this and you may not know how to answer. Okay, so we will be diving deep into this topic today. So please give me a moment as I share my screen. So last week, we have talked about how protein is so important and how it is integrated in every part of the human physiology. So to just give you a quick recap of what we have learned, okay, we understood that protein plays a very vital role in the integrity of bone matrix. Most people would think it's only just calcium or vitamin D, but 50% of protein is required to maintain the solid, dense integrity of the bones. And on top of that, the very organ that pumps continuously without rest requires muscle as well. And muscle essentially needs protein in order to sustain effectively. And the blood vessel, even though it's just as thin or thinner than a piece of paper, but in between the blood vessel are smooth muscles. They're responsible for the contraction and dilation to enable oxygen and carbon dioxide to flow accordingly. So these are a few vital roles of what protein does. Apart from that, protein is also responsible for the millions of reactions that happens in the body. And it is also responsible for various hormones. Insulin is one of them, okay, enzyme and hair. So the human body cannot form itself, essentially cannot function without the existence of protein. So that is how important protein is to the body, way more than just for muscle health. Now, this thing about protein has been around for a while. And as a society, we have seen massive changes in food trends. They come and go, and most food trends don't last for a very long time. So protein, however, is a rare nutrient component because it is one of those nutrients that manage to stay on for so many years, and it also does not have so much bad reputation. Okay, it's quite all right compared to other type of food. So how it all started? It all began as early as the 1960s, during my parents' time or my grandparents' time. So at that point of time, human has already thought about the concept of incorporating protein through supplements. Okay, so of course, way back in the day, technology is not so advanced. It does not taste so good, and apparently it tastes like chalk. But I have to give credit for the scientists at that time because there are different flavors available already. Okay, and they have very creative marketing strategies back in the day, even though it may appear a bit disturbing now as we look at it. And as these two things, they just entered the market, you know, it was blooming. And this is where fat diets also became very popular. So this is the first one that was, you know, trending at that time, called the last chance diet. So it was hyped up, but because there are some casualties, some people died, okay, following through this program. So it ended up being their last chance to live, right? So because of this, it's now banned. So because of all this controversy, protein has surged and then it died down for a while. After that, the protein enters a new phase, okay, which is called the bodybuilding era. So in the 1990s, this is where sports start to come into the picture and people are very interested in building muscles, right? This is where powerlifting has become popular. Many people are joining in, okay? They want to start looking better in their physical appearance. And this is where sports science also start to develop the rate of muscle growth, performance, to take up more weights, okay, to be more effective in workouts, and they all started here. So fast forward today, we have now entered a new era, okay, which is known as the plant-based protein era. I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. Okay, it is everywhere nowadays, especially the past 2 to 3 years. Okay, this growth is exponential. And we see all kinds of plant-based foods in a supermarket nowadays. This is what we call a plant-based patty. It came a long way compared to how it used to be 5 years ago. So food scientists decides to make this plant-based protein to be as similar as animal-based protein. Okay, even internally here, you can see that there's a pinkish color to it, right? They want to mimic the blood, all right? How patty bleeds, okay, especially raw meat. So they even go to that extent, right, to mimic animal food. So apparently it tastes pretty good. Okay, it is can compare with animal patty. Of course, there's also all kinds of frozen foods available, and many people will perceive this as a healthy option since, okay, it is tofu and it seems harmless, right? And especially chips. Okay, there are all kinds of plant-based snacks, and I have to say that the packaging is really good. They make it in such a way that makes you want to buy it. It's attractive and it gives you an impression that it's very healthy. Okay, however, all these things come with a price because naturally plant does not taste as good compared to animal. So the compromise here is that it's highly processed. Okay, they have to add a lot of starch and some kind of chemical that it's foreign to us, okay, in order to make the plant-based meat to taste like real meat. So there's a lot of compromise nutritionally, and it's also high in salt content to give it that taste, and it also comes with a hefty price tag. So all this comes with the whole plant-based protein movement. So we can spend another whole session just to talk about this, but this is not our specific target today. So now we're going to move into protein powders. This is a whole new ball game altogether, and I'm sure the scene like this is very overwhelming, right? You see this everywhere, and there are all kinds of colors, and they all look attractive. Okay, so where do they stand nutritionally? So there are all kinds of plant-based, but these are some popular ones, such as oat protein, pumpkin powders, soy, okay, soy or pea-based, and hemp protein, right? So in order for us to identify how effective plant-based protein is, we have to compare it to the standard whey protein, okay, because this has been around for a longer period of time. So if you put it side by side, what is the difference? So plant-based protein generally lack in a few amino acids. Okay, it is generally incomplete. This does not have the complete nutritional profile. As compared to whey protein, okay, because the origin is from animal source, so it is a more complete protein and it has all the essential amino acids. So some may argue to say that soy, for example, is a complete amino acid. All right, soy and pea has a complete amino acid profile. So they may think that, because of this reason, we can still go with plant-based. Okay, however, that is just one part of the equation. The other part we have to look at is the amino acid score. This explains as to how effectively this is being utilized in the small intestine, because this is where essentially all the nutrients get absorbed and used there. So even though you can have a plant source that has complete and all the essential amino acid, but if it does not score well here, it still does not equate to a high quality protein. So these are the scores. Soy protein being 0.84, okay, granted it is a higher in terms of nutritional profile wise, it's more complete. And then followed by oat, and lastly rice protein, which is only 0.37. So if you compare it to whey and milk protein, whey has 1.0 and milk protein 1.2. So the amino acids score here is way different and way more higher quality as well. Okay, and apart from that, plant-based protein has less studies. It has become very popular for the past 2 to 3 years. So scientists does not have enough time to really evaluate its effectiveness in health, in muscle, and all these kind of things. Give me a moment as I put on my headset again. Okay, I hope all of you are hearing me okay. So if not, just let me know, yeah. Okay, all right. Then for whey protein, because it's been around for a longer period of time, so okay, so it's more extensively studied. Okay, it's at least 20 years already around. So there are more science behind it, so it would be more assuring in that sense. Okay. So plant-based protein also come with another concern, right, that a lot of people are concerned about, because this is where a lot of GMO come into the picture, where there's a lot of genetic modification to enable a crop to sustain bacteria, okay, to sustain spoilage and to make it bigger, right? So there's a lot of controversy in this area, and there's also a possibility of these genes to transfer into our human body. So it can cause a lot of unknown situations such as cancer, toxicity, and things like that. Right, so as you can see this image, this is a GMO corn, which is very healthy, and this one, it's the one that spoils fast. So ideally, we should be getting protein from various food sources, right? As much as whey and plant, there is a difference there, but ideally, if you can get from every source, like from plant and meat and fish, that would be best, okay? Because these different food groups will have different benefit, and collectively, they are more complete. However, we know that it's not easy to achieve this. Okay, to eat this is very realistic. It's very idealistic. It's not possible to achieve on a daily basis. So this is where Unicity comes into the picture, okay, to bridge the gap and to make this a possibility for everyone to enjoy good health. So here I would like to touch on a few basic protein. Okay, I know we have a lot more than this, but these are the 4 main ones that we will be talking today. So we start with the first one, which is LC base. Okay, so LC base is very high in protein. It is 27 grams and it's 100% whey. So the whole intention behind this product, okay, is to encourage our body to go into the fat burning zone. So this requires good amounts of fat, especially from coconut, because it has medium chain triglycerides, right? So this really helps to activate the fat burning function of the body. So it's formulated to be low carbs and high fat, okay, to help us to achieve this effect. And secondly, we have quadplex. So quadplex is made, okay, for those who are really into sports, okay, because sports requires high protein. So the protein is 25 grams and it's also 100% whey. And this quadplex is utilizing a very unique technology, which is this amino acid technology that releases immediately after consumption. So this enables the muscle to recover quickly and to also gain the energy instantly as they do work out the next minute. So both of these are considered the higher protein range. And this is targeted for a group of people who would want to have a more filling, okay, a more filling protein source to give them more energy throughout the day, all right, and to also give them the capacity to build muscle faster and more effectively. And especially for those who engage in high intensity workout, okay, if you do a lot of weightlifting, circuit workout, then this too would be ideal for you. Very important for recovery. And it's also for those who desire to see fast weight loss results, okay, LC based especially. Okay, if you're on this for 1 month, you're guaranteed to see some form of drastic results. So we want to target our protein to many different types of people. So next we have a different type, which is called LC vanilla. So this has slightly lower, okay, on the moderate end with 12 grams of protein. And it has a higher percentage of isolate. So I've spoke about this before, how whey protein isolate is smaller than concentrate, so it's being able to absorb better. And we also mix a bit of whey and plant. So this is where the whole concept of complete comes into the picture to give us a more varied source of protein. And because of how small the protein molecules are, it is easier to digest, and it is also able to give that kind of versatility to the product as well. And we have also included more fiber. It's high fiber, per packet is 5 grams, to give us that feeling of satiety, all right, and the completeness as we consume our drink. So another companion would be LC chocolate, and it has slightly higher protein content. It's 18 grams. And it's for those who would desire to have a slightly more protein than this vanilla, okay, but not too high. So this is a combination of whey and milk protein, and it also has a really nice chocolate flavor for those who enjoy drinking chocolate. So both of these are at the lighter side, okay, are targeted more as an add-on. Some people may not want to replace a whole meal, they just want to add on at the side. Okay, it may not be able to give us that kind of very fast muscle building effect, but it can still help to tone the muscle, okay, to firm the muscle, to give it a nice definition. And it supports moderate intensity workout, like a run, a quick run, or quick workout at home. And it also supports weight loss and weight management initiative. So both of these come into the picture to support these 4 pointers. Now, this comes the very important part, because you want to know how good really is unicity. Okay, we don't want to just say out from just recommendations, but really comparing it with what we see in the market. So I've shortlisted a few protein powders that's very commonly seen. Okay, I can't show the exact picture here, but there are some common varieties of these that you have definitely come across in pharmacies. So the first one is brand PL. Okay, it looks like a bit pinkish, and the information written is that this protein is packed with the goodness of 10 types of unrefined grains, beans, nuts, and beetroot. Wow. Okay, by just reading this right up, don't you feel impressed already? 10 types of unrefined grains. Okay, let's see in detail. So this is the real nutrition composition, okay? And there's only 4.1 grams of protein, 19.4 grams of carbs, okay? More carbs than protein, and it's less than 1 gram of fiber, and the sugar is 7.5 grams. So you see? So for a layman who is not educated, okay, if they don't bother about this nutrition information, by just reading this, they would have just bought it already, you know, because it's so impressive. And this is organic soy, all right? A lot out there. So it says heart-friendly protein, organic soy milk powder, lightly sweetened with cane sugar. Wow. All right, not tasteless, you know. It's lightly sweetened with some cane sugar, okay, to make you feel a bit better when you're drinking it, right? And if someone says heart-friendly, buy, I would bet out, you know, a layman would have bought it, right? Okay, but the protein is, you see, is almost the same. 4.7, and carbs, all right, sugar is also very high, 6.1. And this is the next one. It's purple color, all right? It boasts to have 3 well-known superfoods: purple sweet potato, purple Chinese yam, and organic black chia seeds. Wow. Impressive, right? So this is actually the more expensive one, okay, where I surveyed, but the protein is the lesser one, okay, and the carbs, it's very high, 21.5, and the sugar also. So you see, okay, all these things with really nice packaging and all, but the protein is less than 5 grams, no. So there may be some people that they can go for a non-sweet beverage. Okay, they like the idea of almonds, nut powder, and things like that. Okay, so how does nut powders compare to Unicity's protein powder? So you see, it says in the label is 100% pure sweet almond and it's not bitter free. But the protein is worse, okay? It's only 1.6 gram of protein and 1 gram of fiber. Okay, granted, sugar and carbohydrate is not really a problem, but the protein is very little. So some of you will want to look for another option. So here is black sesame. Very popular, right? It says it's made from roasting and grinding 100% pure black sesame in low temperature. Okay, the protein is also very low. And walnut powder, okay, a superfood beverage full of important nutrients, mineral, and fiber. And this is even worse, okay, 0.82. It's not even 1 gram of protein here. So all these things, when they sell in organic shop, it's not really cheap also. Okay, but in the real benefit that you get from it, it's not as good as you expect. So this is why when I recall back my experience as I was working as a clinical dietitian, I come across a lot of people who say that they eat very healthy. Okay, they eat oats every day and they say that they buy all these nuts, all these oats from pharmacy. But when they look at their blood report, they always end up being very surprised. Then why am I still unhealthy? You see their sugar level is still really high, their cholesterol is still out of control. And they find themselves very puzzled, because they've tried everything to be healthy. So what is the problem? I think it could be due to a lot of this so-called healthy food out there. So Unicity protein range is 3 to 6 times more protein, 4 to 5 times more fiber, and it has a lot less carbs and sugar. Like LC vanilla, for example, only has 1 gram of sugar compared to the many others that we've seen. So of course, there are people who can afford better, right? They may not get all this from pharmacy, they may get from competitors. Okay, so this is the interesting part you want to see. So this is one of the top ones, okay? This company, okay, most of their protein powders are all soy protein. Okay, there is no other but just soy. And the size is 550 grams, serving per container is 22. The price per serving is 7.6 ringgit for one serving. The protein is 8.7. The carbs is also 8.7. And the sugar, right, is as much as the carbs here. So the protein is very low. And next is Company A. Okay, this is also a top one. Also use soy protein. Serving is even lesser. There's only 14 servings per container and the price is 10 ringgit 60 cents. The protein is surprisingly lesser, even though it's more expensive, and the carbs is very high. Okay, there's no information on the sugar content. Next, we have Company N. Okay, the type of protein used is slightly better. They use milk protein. And there's also slightly more in it as well. But the servings is also very little. The price is exorbitant. Okay, 24 ringgit per serving, Okay, I can eat a really good meal in the cafe with this kind of price per serving. The protein is slightly better than what is in these two, but the carbs. Okay, this is the first time I see carbs is even more than the protein. Not the first time, this one also is high as well. And the sugar, my goodness, okay, it's 19 grams. So, okay, I'm not too sure you're drinking more sugar or protein. So let's just put one of our products side by side, okay? So LC Vanilla uses pea and milk isolate and some whey as well. So it's a lot more varied. The size is generally higher than the first two. Okay, serving is 20 servings per container and it's priced at 10 ringgit 50 cents. But you look at the nutritional profile, all right? Protein and carbs is the same, but there's only 1 gram of sugar. So what does this tell you? Okay, first of all, it looks much better compared to others. And this also means that the carbs is from natural sources. It's from the pea and it's from the milk isolate. And all these naturally have some carb. And the sugar is also naturally occurring because it's only 1 gram. Okay, compared to all these, which is more than 5, and this is 19 grams. And if you were to put LC base there, okay, LC base use complete whey protein and it weighs 1.95 kg. Okay, so you're getting a lot out of a serving, and we have this for a month. Okay, the price may be slightly higher than average, but you are getting a lot more in value. There's 27 grams of protein, 4 grams of net carb, and only 3 grams of sugar. So as you compare to all these others, okay, Unicity indeed give you what is quality. All right, you pay for what you get, and you get a lot more out of it. So Unicity protein range has 2 to 4 times more protein, has 6 times less carbs, and a staggering 19 times less sugar, right? LC vanilla compared to the most highest one. So with Unicity, you can have the full confidence that what you have is the real deal. So are proteins trend or truth? So over time, obviously, a lot of people want to ride into the trend to get maximum profit, right? So a lot of it, as we learned just now, are in the trend category. Okay, purely just riding on the trend. But on the truth category, this very little, okay, because it costs a lot, it takes a lot of research to do it, and not everybody can do it. So I'm proud to say that Unicity falls in the truth category. And our products have been founded by solid scientific research. And we have a history as long as 116 years since the founding franchise. We have 30 offices over 5 continents and 17 products in the prescriber's digital reference, which is known as a PDR. So with all this write-up, okay, and all this information about the company immediately tells you about the quality, okay, and translates into quality with what you are taking today. And on top of all these achievements, we also conduct our studies and we collaborate with well-renowned universities to verify the quality of our research. So we have, all these University of Sydney, Cleveland Clinic, and we have also have our studies published in well-renowned journals such as American Heart Journal and Journal of Dietary Supplements. So, ladies and gentlemen, okay, what you have on your hand is really the real deal, as I said. Okay, it's not just, people always say it's expensive, but you're really getting good quality nutrition and it's served to give your body the best health possible. So be rest assured what you have is the truth, and it pays off in the long run. So thank you everybody for your time and attention today. I've really enjoyed preparing this topic today. I hope you've learned a thing or two. Okay, so we are now opening the time to Q&A. If there is any question that you would like to ask me, anything about plant, protein, any other things you would want to do, now is the best opportunity actually. Okay, because later after this, you may forget and we will not talk about this again, right? So you can have some moment to think first. Okay, let me have my drink first, yeah? Okay, today the first question came pretty quickly. All right, thank you, Mr. Ong Guan Chiu, for your question. Okay, you have asked a very relevant question. Can we say that our plant protein is not GMO? Yes, you can say that, all right? Because we do testing that checks on all these things, because if there are any traces of GMO, it cannot be sold, okay, especially in big countries like Korea. Okay, so you can say that our plant protein, yeah, is not GMO. Yeah, you can. Okay, so looks like there's not a lot of questions today. Okay, maybe I've answered your questions already. So it's okay, no problem. Okay, if there isn't any. Okay, recommended also to your protein drink as supper. Yes, can.
Yeah, you can definitely take this as a supper if you're feeling hungry. Okay, it's definitely better than drinking a 3-in-1 or a chocolate drink, right? So yeah, protein drink you can drink any time of the day, before or after meal. All right. So I hope today, with what we have learned, you have more confidence in what we have. Yeah, and what we have, it's really transparent and we're honest about the products that we have. Okay, so I hope that okay, you have a good day, and if you need anything, please let me know and I'll be most happy to help. So thank you everybody, and stay tuned for our training in December. Oh yes, I have something to still share with you. Oh, okay, Mr. Isaac Lim has a question. All right, yeah, sure. You can ask if you want to. Okay, LC base and quad flex. Okay, it's fine. You can continue to type. I will just share my email address if you need it. Oh, okay. Actually, there's this one more slide on the Unicity recognition event. Okay, that I just wanted to highlight. And this is a very important event for everyone. Because it's gonna celebrate all the amazing milestones that our leader has worked so hard, okay, for the past few months, and we're gonna have a really good celebration and recognition on that day. So this will fall on the 23rd of 23rd of this month, right, which is next Tuesday. So mark in your calendars, and I hope to see all of you. Okay, so back to Mr. Isaac Lim question. Is it recommended not consume before or after workout? Okay, just to answer your question, LC base, because of how thick is it, most people would take it before workout, okay, to give it a bit of time to let it digest properly. Or if you really want to take it before like 30 minutes, you can take half a sachet, right? But for Quaplex, you can take before or after. It's fine, okay, but it's pretty light, so you can take it before or after, right? You can take it both ways. So I hope this answers your question. Okay, please feel free to drop me an email if you need to know more information. All right. Thank you everybody for your time and attention. I see you next week on our recognition event. Thank you very much, everyone. See you. Bye.